but not CC.
Not CC.
He's pitching really good ball.
But when he runs out of gas and hands it over to somebody, then it's not been getting done.
He's only a 5 or 6 inning guy, right?
Arizona is 7-2-1 to the over versus left-handed starters, and they're hitting 300 versus lefties, which is number one in baseball. And this is the league-wide angle of this. Over the last 3 years, when both teams had a day off, the over-under is 264 to 201 to the over. Now, that's an angle that's 56%. Not big, but that's a big sample size, so you're putting a lot of units there, and they all line up on the over.
All right. By the way, CC is, I think, is a cinch first ballot Hall of Famer. If he's not on your Hall of Fame ballot in the first time around, you probably shouldn't have a vote. He's great. He's completely reinvented himself, and he's never going to overpower anybody. The days of throwing 97 are done, but he just knows how to pitch. He just really knows how to pitch, and he's one of the smartest pitchers in the game. It's just watching him work, it's like Rembrandt out there, and he'll never blow you away at this point, but he'll outfox you.
The last 3 years, it's been, he's over the hill, he's done, and yet he's still very effective out there.
He sure is. I'm sorry he's retiring at the end of this year because I think there's still some mileage out there. By the way, I'll get over 3,000 strikeouts pretty soon, so that should be pretty much an automatic qualifier for the Hall. Let's take a look at some West Coast Major League Baseball. We'll start with the Dodgers and Giants. Interestingly enough, the Dodgers have not been playing their best ball when they're off a loss. They actually have a losing record off a loss, so they've been losing in small streaks. And then in the other, when they're hitting, though, they just keep hitting. Will they hit tonight against Drew Pomerantz? We'll wait and see. Pomerantz has actually been pretty good 2 of his last 3 starts. Buehler still hasn't found, I think, the level that people expect him to be at this season. I mean, the price looks awfully cheap on the Dodgers. Where it is right now, it's in the mid-130s last I checked. And that's dirt cheap. But it also looks trappy, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, you look at the Dodgers here, and Buehler, last year, phenomenal season, Dave, but he just has not gotten it going this year yet. He's got a high ERA of 5.25, yet his whip's not that bad, Dave. It's 1.16.
Look, what's happening is he's having bad innings. Mm-hmm. Where he'll look great. Well, last game out. I mean, he's tremendous for 5 innings, and then all of a sudden he gives up a 3-run homer in the 6th. There goes the ERA, and it's misleading because he was dominant for 5 innings, but then he wasn't. Then he got bad all at once, and that's kind of happened to him all season long.
And is that something that you got to put a little bit of the blame on the manager, that you're leaving him out there too long?
I don't know. He's supposed to be your horse at this point. I mean, you can't have everybody pitching 80 pitches and then get him out of there. You kill your bullpen. And Buehler's the guy who's supposed to be able to go out there and give you 105 pitches.
Drew Pomerantz, though, he's coming off a very good outing. 6 strong innings against Toronto. He allowed no runs and just 2 hits in that outing. I look at this one here. I can't lay the price on the road with the Dodgers, and I actually saw it go up a little higher than the 130, Dave. I think it adjusted itself, people coming in there. But I don't trust the Giants to win 2 in a row against the Dodgers, so this is a pass for me.
They're not real good. Blue Jays and Angels. Blue Jays coming off a celebratory weekend. Boy, I'm telling you, the atmosphere at Rogers Center was electric, the best it's been in a while. That was all directly traced to the arrival of Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and the Blue Jays swept the Oakland A's. They've had a day off to travel, and now they're on the West Coast to face the Angels. And it's not nearly the same level, but there is some excitement in Anaheim tonight for the debut of Griffin Canning, who is the best pitching prospect of the Angels organization. You want to make some Trevor Bauer comparisons, go ahead. Like Bauer, he's out of UCLA. He's been fast-tracked to the majors. He's got 3+ pitches. The changeup is kind of invisible right now, and if he develops that, he could become a real star. I think he's legitimate. He's looked great so far this season. Blue Jays are coming in hot. Clay Buchholz could be the pitcher who cools them off. Buchholz is just strictly a journeyman at this point. He's very hittable. We'll see if the Angels can take advantage of that. Now, the money line on this game, I think, is a bit of an indicator because Toronto's hot. You've got an unknown quantity for the Angels. The Blue Jays kind of look like the better baseball team right now. And yet the Angels came pretty good-sized favorites in this game.
Yeah, and it stayed that way. You didn't see any buyback on it. And why not, Dave? Griffin Canning, you look at what he did. AAA Salt Lake, guy was 1-0, an ERA of 0.56 in his 3 starts.
Last start was a combined no-hitter.
Yeah, you know me, Dave. I love to take pitchers first time around the league, especially whenever they're coming up with the fanfare that this kid is coming up with. I'm going to go first 5 innings. We're not going to see him beyond that probably.
I wouldn't think so.
So let's take the bullpens out of the mix, and anytime I can take the Angels bullpen out of the mix, if I'm backing them, I want to do that. So I'm going to go first 5 with the Angels. I like them tonight.
This is a tough matchup here. Yankees and Diamondbacks. You just mentioned CC. I'm not going against this guy right now. He is pitching, I think, at a very high level. There's just no barrels off this guy. Nobody's getting really good contact off him. And Zach Greinke, if you throw out the opening game start against the Dodgers, has been sensational. And by the way, he's as good with the bat right now as any. He's been tremendous with the bat. So Greinke's such a great athlete. He's won I don't know how many Gold Gloves. It's not Jim Cott level, but it's pretty good. I think that the runs are going to be tough to come by in this ball game. That's my impression. I know you've got 2 bullpens. The Yankees bullpen is better than the Diamondbacks bullpen, which can get sketchy at times. But certainly CC's not going to be out there for more than 5 innings. But if you want to make a case for first 5 under here, I think you can do it.
Yeah, and this goes directly against the Joe Zangel situation there. But I agree with you. Zach Greinke, I mean, did you look at his last 2 starts? He's gone 13 innings against, and both on the road, Dave. Pittsburgh and Chicago. The Pirates are not playing well
Cubs,
right now.
He dominated the Cubs.
Dominating the Cubs, and he's got 11-3 strikeout to walk ratio. He only gave up 5 hits. I mean, he's striking people out, and he's not giving up hits, and he's had decent control. You can't ask for any more out of a pitcher. I don't want to step in front of Greinke right now, and especially, as you said, because with CC, you're only going to get 5 innings, and then he's going to be gone. And this has been a long road trip for the Yankees. They're still banged up, and the bullpen's gotten work.
A lot of momentum, though.
They've given up some runs on this road trip in some of these games. So it's Arizona or pass for me.
And the Cubs and Mariners, Seattle would like to forget the last 2 games they played, where they just got absolutely annihilated at home, no less, by the Texas Rangers. Now they have to face the Cubs, who kind of seem to be putting things together a little bit. Chris Bryant starting to flash some power, had 2 homers over the weekend after having just 1 prior to that. Cubbies look, I think they're going to be okay. I don't think this is going to be a great baseball team by any means, but I think the Cubs are going to be okay. And the Mariners, I'm not going to automatically say, well, this is it, they're ready to fall apart. But I kind of think they might be. I thought Seattle was a complete fraud to start the season, and I think reality is kind of starting to set in.
The Seattle Mariners are the New York Mets of last season. Remember when the Mets got off to, 11-2 start last year, and then it was just bad after that. I look at this one, and, as you said, bad weekend, 29-2.
That's
you
not
lose
very good.
The last 2 games. Good thing for them they didn't play yesterday and had a day off just to give the bullpen a chance to recuperate. Felix Hernandez, he pitched his best game of the season last time out against the Padres. Went a strong 7 innings, 8 strikeouts. Now, when I see King Felix get the high strikeouts, he's not been the King Felix of old, and he's never going to be. But when he has an outing like that, you start to feel the old, you feel young again. And, going against this team right now, the Cubs, the way they're hitting, I don't know if he can duplicate that. They get 4 of the last 6 games for the Cubs. They've scored 6 runs or more. And when they start scoring runs, they are a dangerous team. This one, I lean to the Cubs, but I can't pull the trigger.
Rockets and Warriors, unquestionably the marquee matchup of the night. We'll get to that next.
The Las Vegas Sports Line.
Dave Cokin with John Lyons from Lyons Physical Therapy. So give me a rundown on maybe a typical treatment at LPT.
Sure, Dave. On an initial consult, we'll sit down with the patient for at least 10 or 15 minutes, get a history of their injury or their condition. Then we'll move into an assessment where we put our hands on the patient, take them through a few special tests to identify what the pain source is and what the actual injury is. Then we'll use some modalities like heat and electric stimulation to reduce their pain and muscle spasms. And typically our physical therapist or assistant will do some type of manual stretching, massage therapy, or range of motion on that patient. And After the initial visit, we typically see patients 2 to 3 times a week for 4 to 6 weeks.
LionsPTLV.com, 702-476-0222. I'm Dave Cokin with Cliff Miller from MJ Christensen Diamonds. This is my favorite one to talk about, diamonds from outer space.
Oh, moissanite. And it is popular with a certain sect. You know, a lot of ladies, if it's not a diamond, it's not going to happen. So from space or wherever it's from, no moissanite for them. But it is a greatly, highly dispersive stone that can be enjoyed.
MJ Christensen, something special for the love of your life. Located at Boca Park.
What's hot today? It's time for the WagerTalk Marquee Matchup of the Night with Marco DAngelo. WagerTalk.com. Start winning now.
There are some days where it's like, okay, well, let's make a decision on what we're going to use for the marquee matchup. This was not one of those days. Rockets and Warriors, Game 2. Game 1, very exciting. Golden State pulls it out. Rockets are still complaining about the officiating in Game 1. But that's interesting, and that leads me to a thought for Game 2. When a team has it in their mind that the officials are against them, I don't think that's a good thing. It's kind of like you're already building in an excuse for the next game. And I really don't like that from a mental standpoint for Houston here.
No, I agree with you, Dave. And I can tell you, like I said, when we were talking with Jeff, I've talked to a lot of guys that are on the Houston side tonight. I am not one of them. I'm going with Golden State. This is a spot, like you said, Houston, every time they lose, there's a reason why they lost. It's like, excuses. Chris Paul got hurt or we would have won that series. Yeah, probably, but it happened and you didn't.
They sound like handicappers when they do that.
Yeah,
well, I won the game if the other team hadn't gotten 18 hits.
Or me at the poker table where, guy got hit that 2-outer on the river. It's never your fault.
And by the way, I'm not excluding myself from that category because it's like, well, wait a minute, I handicapped this, right? It's like the guys in the field didn't do their job. So I kind of get what the Rockets are saying. It's just, and I think they feel totally justified in their mind. That's why they lost Game 1, is because the officiating went against them.
But what happens if it doesn't?
Worry about it. I don't know. I'd rather just see, you know what? We lost the game, and we're going to go out there and win the next one, period.
Because with that, Dave, when you have the built-in excuses, when you come out in Game 2, and if they get off to a slow start, it could snowball for them. And I think there's value. And we talked just before we came out of the break. I checked the line. We saw Jeff saying that he's getting money showing up on Houston. There's money showing up all over town because the town is painted 5 right now on this game. Game 1 was 6.5. And now you're looking at this opened up at 5.5. I thought it would sit there at the 5.5, and now it's down to 5. So you got value with Golden State.
I do think the betting market is also buying the theory that the officiating cost Houston Game 1. And I watched the game. I can't totally disagree with that. I mean, they did get the short straw as far as the officiating is concerned in the game. But you still have to put that behind you. If you have a team tonight that comes out and says, all right, forget about that, let's just go out and beat these guys. I think the Rockets do believe they can beat the Warriors. They had them dead to rights, last year, right?
Right.
They should have won the series. So I don't think there's any lack of confidence here.
And for Golden State, this is a big game for them because if they go back 1-1 with Houston having all of the confidence, believing that they can win this game, win this series, I should say, it's going to be a problem for Golden State. I think Golden State shows up, and I also like the over, Dave. If the officials call it tighter tonight, we're going to get more fouls. And the last game was a low-scoring game. There's a 4-point adjustment from the total last time to 220.5.
At WagerTalk.com, I'll mention that I had my first 5% of the Major League Baseball season going tonight. I felt strongly about a game. But the best buy on the board is a $2 Tuesday special from Ralph Michaels.
And you love Ralph with all of those angles that he comes up with for us here on the Joe's Angle of the Day. So check out Ralph. Head over there. And, Dave, every Tuesday when you do that, you get coupons as well inside of that $2 package to get some other specials.
All good reasons to check out WagerTalk.com. And don't forget lots of free information, mostly from Ralph. I did post a free play today, so you can get that right now at WagerTalk.com. And that doesn't, it's free, so that doesn't cost anything. If you want to get the 5% play, go for it. We will talk now about our Lions Physical Therapy Play of the Day.
It's the LPT Play of the Day. tonight's best bet from Lions Physical Therapy, your 5-star rated specialists.
Spoiler alert, you don't actually have to go to WagerTalk.com for the free play that I posted, because I'm going to talk about it now. If you've been watching the Padres this season,